Welcome back to Shoes Off Talk. We're still in the building here at the Super Lux rooftop event, still making our rounds. It's a beautiful event, and running into people here. We got my mans here. Talk to us, man. Introduce yourself.
How y'all doing? How you doing? Well, first of all, I want to salute. Man, I want to give my cousin props, Tim McAfee, doing this.
Which is one of our hosts for the Shoes Off Talk.
Yes, and I'm thankful for the invite. And long story short, I'm not formally known as, but I'm known as Prince Murray now by my real name, McAfee, because I'm the owner of B.E.T Mobile, which was created in 2005 as a ringtone outlet. Now it's grew to not just a ringtone provider, but to movie soundtrack placement, touring, booking for artists, personal meetings for investors internationally, dealing with finances for overseas booking and in-seas booking, taking artist projects and saying, hey, you're a new artist, you might need some artist development, and getting a development company that does tech to invest there, pursuing, and we call them pursuings, but they're really points on the back end for the artist project. And on top of that, I'm also Alizé, formerly a Death Row Records national.
Yeah. Let's get it.
So I'm older.
just a little bit. But hey, how did you get started? How did this come about?
My grandfather, Muddy Waters, motivated me. So by him being the king of rock and roll and the creator of rock and roll, it's just been in my blood to do music.
Muddy Waters. That's big right there.
My grandmother's Marie Waters, meditation singer, gospel singer. So, if you've seen the movie The Butler, and it's so bad, I should always remember that brother, Black Sweet. Forrest Whitaker, in the movie The Butler, the part when he got ready to close the door for the president, like it was a big scene, that was my grandmother's song, her in the meditation singer.
Nice.
Yeah, I come from that. She gave that up to raise me, so.
Yeah, I come from the same thing. I come from that old era. My aunt is Sheila Hutchinson from the Emotions.
Come on now, let's go.
I'm part of that Motown style.
That Motown
my uncle
style.
sang with the Jacksons, so I get it.
Yes,
I grew up with the Dells. Man, I didn't even know. I was a little kid. Didn't even know that they was the Dells.
When you looked at that record player and you saw albums that you didn't see at your friend's house that just looked like they came out of a manufacturing company, something didn't make sense. Something didn't make sense.
But man, other than that, how you enjoying this Super Lux rooftop event, man? This is black opulence, man.
Do you really want to know how black excellence this is?
Let's go.
I had a promoter that wanted me to do an event out here. So I got information from one of my interns to call this number. So I call this number, the guy picks up, he's like, yeah, man, hey, what's going on, man? I say, hey, I'm trying to contact Tim McAfee. Yeah, man, that's me. Hey, how you doing? This is Maurice McAfee. He said, hey, don't play with the last name. I said, I'm not. You playing with it? And he said, where you from? I said, where you from? And he said, well, I'm originally Peoria. I said, I got family out there. What part? Harrison Homes, Taft Homes. After that, we sent pictures to each other. He got a picture of my mom and my grandmother, and he took the picture and showed it to his mom, and she said, yeah, that's one up.
Wow. When they say Phoenix is small, you cannot get no smaller than that. Man, when you talking about the universe works,
the universe. And so after that, God's just been putting me in place with great people in Phoenix. That right there, he may not do the camera, but that was my brother, been with me for 20 years, man. In the music industry, we did big things in Vegas in the entertainment game. And this young lady right here, she's been nothing but a blessing, man. I'm going to tell you, 24 hours, the networking has been amazing. Miss Amanda has been amazing. Truly, the people I've met, and from the Christian radio stations, doing interviews with them, and finally being on your show, because I was watching you and my cousin last week, as y'all was telling parents, be parents.
Right. Yes. Be a parent.
That's right. Yes,
Come on now.
Be a parent.
Thanks for tuning in, watching us. Cheers to you.
Cheers
so
to
before we just want to talk to you from there. You know what? No. I got to know from you, because you are in the music business. The direction of music now and where it's going. Talk to us.
Right here. The podcasters and the artists and the label. That's going to be the funnel for it. And I'm telling you, from a tech side, from an IT tech, which I never thought I would ever do that, 3.9 GPA, encoder and aggregator, it's going to have to be. You know why? Because the record labels can't pay the radio station, because that's payola. You can only buy so much AdSense for commercials, but you can always support and contribute and subscribe to the podcast.
Right.
And the podcast will then push the single. The single is then allocated to iTunes. And I try to tell artists this, and I really need them to know. Yo, big homie, I'm on iTunes. No, you're not on the real iTunes. Yeah, I am. Look, it say iTunes. No, you're on a third-party widget, which has a contract with iTunes to put you in their store, but not on iTunes deck. Till you get real distribution, you Google Alize in iTunes right now, ALAZE, over 300 iTunes. How you mean 300? iTunes Dubai, iTunes Japan, iTunes Singapore. Because think about it, if you getting American money, certain countries, American money ain't worth the penny it's made of.
Nope.
So how is you going to make money if you on just American iTunes and say, I'm everywhere? It doesn't work like that. You have to be allocated to all iTunes, all Amazon, all Spotify. There's somebody in Spotify Chicago going, I don't have this project. Spotify Dubai, like, we just dropped it. You have to go through a distributor who does your ISRC codes, verifies your copyrights, verifies your sample clearance. So, I can talk all day about it, but that's what I do. Just had a project cleared with Phil Collins for In the Air, a true story about my life.
Classic.
Got a new single out with Rick Ross. I still do the music. I got kids to feed. New single with Rick Ross. Then I got one with Snoop I just did called Once Upon a Time on Death Row. And I'm working on my other single right now that I just got the vocals from for the baby. So, we're having a little fun.
Just a little light work. Little song.
I love it. It feeds the family. And I'm learning from the podcasters that this ain't no easy game. You can have a computer and you can know how to talk, but if you don't know what you're doing,
it's a whole nother beat.
Y'all are taking it to another level, and I love it. And I appreciate being on your show as well as Mr. Manda's show. And I'm really finna look into this on another level, man.
Before we get out of here, because the game going on right now, we got to get to the game. Who you got?
Black History Month say never be biased to your people. We got two black quarterbacks.
Come on.
I'm gonna leave you with this one. And people say I'm silly for it. I'm gonna leave you with Bernie Mac. You got two. You didn't have them last year. You probably had one. The year before that, you probably had 1.5. I'm gonna leave that one alone. That's a joke. This year, you got two. So whoever win, kick ass. I had a great time. You ain't finna get me beat up by no Philly fans and no Kansas City fans. But I am from the Midwest. Do them that.
Shut that. Let's get it. Shoes off, son.